falling asleep can be really hard. And it seems like once you start struggling with it, it just gets harder every second. Here's my secret that allowed me to get rid of sleep issues. So I used to have a really hard time falling asleep, mostly because my mind was racing as soon as I had nothing to distract me from it. All the thoughts just flew all over the place. And they weren't even necessarily bad ones. They were just random thoughts, planning, reflecting, anything. And my solution was to watch YouTube until I fell asleep. If you do this now, that's a terrible idea, but chances are that's the only solution you've found, because you need something to distract you from your racing thoughts. And if you turn it off, you won't fall asleep for a good while, because besides the fact that your mind is racing, you will also start getting frustrated or stressed over the fact that you're not falling asleep. And you'll try harder and harder, and the more you try, the more impossible it seems. So I will say one thing, it's not going to be the focus of this video, but chances are that the main reason you have sleep issues is because you have an overstimulated mind. You're overstimulated from video games, TV, social media, porn, all that garbage. So your mind is not so good at relaxing. But with that out of the way, my secret to falling asleep fast is giving up the thought of falling asleep and meditating. Here's how I do it and why it's such a good idea. So I do this by laying in bed, focusing on my breath, just normal meditation basically. But if you just do this, you might not fall asleep because your mind will keep going away from the breath and you'll keep thinking, come on, I gotta fall asleep fast, I gotta get up early tomorrow. So you gotta get rid of the want to fall asleep. And the way I do that is I just think this is great. If I don't fall asleep all night, I would meditate for 8 hours. And meditation is so good for you. So now it's just a win-win situation. Either you meditate for 8 hours or however long until you have to get up, or you would just fall asleep, which is kind of the goal either way, right? And when you think about it in this way, you almost don't want to fall asleep because meditating for 8 hours is a long time and it would be really good for you. Every minute of mindfulness practice, such as meditation, is incredibly beneficial for you. And the fact that you can spend your night doing it until you fall asleep is a fantastic use of time, instead of just laying there, bothered by all your thoughts or watching YouTube. So the reason I'm really getting into why it would almost be good if you didn't fall asleep is because that's the mindset you need to have. Viktor Frankl talks a lot about paradoxical intention in his fantastic book, A Man's Search for Meaning. And paradoxical intention is the strange phenomenon of how some things are harder to obtain the more we try. And sleep is probably the most obvious example. The more you try to fall asleep, the less likely you are to succeed. And you probably know that already. Most of us have experienced it. So you need to stop thinking that you have to fall asleep. And the best way to do that is to genuinely embrace the idea of not falling asleep all night. This is why meditation is the ultimate way of falling asleep faster and better. It's first of all in itself a great tool to use to fall asleep because it relaxes you. And secondly, it makes it almost worth it if you wouldn't fall asleep. So you stop trying hard and instead you simply just meditate. Like if you don't care about what happens next, you only care about observing your breath. So yeah, that's my secret. I hope you make good use of it and I hope it helps. So go meditate and earn your sleep. And by the way, subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out. Please and thank you.